Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, baby, a good spec, dude. And this guy's gonna come home as well. And I think we'll only keep 2. But man, look at that fish. Look. All right, it's a nice morning today. What is up, guys, and thanks for tuning in to Vitamin D TV. I'm Vitamin D, and today this video is going to be a little bit different for you guys. I think we're going to do something where it's going to be very beneficial to you guys. Not saying that I have all the answers, but I do want to answer a lot of questions that you guys have had for me in the comments in the past few videos. So I try to do a tackle breakdown every time I do a video, explaining to you guys what gear I'm using in order to be successful and in order to get out and do the same thing that I do on the water. So today I'm just going to take a step back. We're not going to wet any lines today. I hope you guys still appreciate the video, and I hope you gain some knowledge from today's video. But we're going to show you guys exactly everything I have pretty much that I use on a day-to-day basis, that I use whenever I get out and get fishing and I get hooked up and catch fish. So if you guys want, grab a drink, grab a seat, and we're gonna do a tackle breakdown, and I'm gonna go over all of my gear with you guys and show you exactly what I use. And I'm not gonna try and pressure you guys into buying anything. I'm just going to show you what I like to use and maybe give you guys a reference point of what you can use in order to be just as successful. So let's go. All right, so here's a look inside of my garage. So first, let's do this. Let's grab these guys. We're gonna be pulling this stuff out kind of one by one. So the first thing you're gonna need as a fisherman, right, is a good pair of optics. Now, if you guys have been watching the channel long enough, you know that I was sponsored by Waterland Fishing Optics. Now, these are some great fishing glasses. These guys are polarized. You're going to want polarized glasses anytime that you're fishing. It lets you see into the water. It cuts the glare down off of the water, and it allows you to see in the water. Whether or not you're seeing bait fish, whether or not you're seeing different ripples on the water, or whatever you're seeing, you're going to see subtle differences in the water, and that's going to make you key in on fish or something different to where you might cast at, and to where you might even cast directly at a fish. So your fishing optics are going to be a key tool for you to get out on the water and be successful. These are the Costas that I was used to wearing, and I recently made an upgrade. I made an upgrade to the Smith Optics. These are super nice glasses. As you can see, they have these side shields on them, so they block in any light coming in from the sides, and they have the attachment in the middle here to where it blocks out any light coming around my nose. And these just allow you to be able to see kind of like a pair of binoculars, right? They block out any light to where you can really get good penetration into the water and see those fish just that much better. So I've already noticed a huge difference in people I've been fishing with. I point out fish way before they can see them, and I'm pointing right at the fish and they still can't see those fish. So I'm like, it's right there, and they still can't see them. So a good pair of fishing optics is going to be huge. Secondly, I'm gonna try and move fast with this video so you guys can stay interested. Secondly is a good hat. I know you guys have been asking about my personal hats. I don't have any for sale at the moment, and I know it's been a long time me saying that, but I just haven't made that investment. But if you can, always try to wear a hat while you're fishing, not only to block the sun from getting sunburnt or something like that, but a good hat over your shades. You see how there's a shadow across my face and covering up my shades, that is going to stop that light from getting into your eyes, cutting through your shades. And it's also going to help you see further into the water. So your shades plus your hat are going to create just a shaded protection to where you can see into the water. It's hard to explain, but trust me, it helps. So now I'm going to grab a few rods and reels out of the garage and show you guys exactly what I use whenever I'm out on the water and in different scenarios. For inshore stuff, I do like to have me a nice cart. Now this cart is going to allow you to get on the beach or on the pier, and it's going to allow you to carry everything you need, from your cooler to your tackle box to a live bait bucket or a cast net, as well as all of your rods. So a nice beach cart is good to have. We'll start with, say, some of our heavier stuff. This is an 8-foot Star Stellar Light rod. This is a nice heavy duty rod, good for king mackerel or say amberjack if you're fishing offshore. This guy's gonna winch some red snapper out of a reef, or if you're on a pier, again, good for king mackerel. I've caught several king mackerel on this guy, and it is paired up with a Daiwa Saltus. This is a 6,000 series reel with, I want to say, 30-pound Power Pro, and that is in white. So typically when you're fishing off the pier, you want to go with the brighter lines, so that way you can see where your line is, and everybody's going to be getting tangled up. So you want to make sure you know where your line is on the pier. So we got some white on this one, we got a blue, we got some yellow, we got some pink. You want to use those bright lines so you can be able to see where your line is. So that Daiwa Saltus is going to have good drag. It's going to hold plenty of line for those king mackerel, and that rod is going to be stout enough to where you can put some pressure on that fish if you need to get it away from flipper, a shark, or just be able to tire him out fast. Also, 8 foot is the right length for me. A lot of people use 9 foot, 8.5, 9 foot, and sometimes a little bit longer rods, and that's going to help you cast a little bit further. But 8 foot seems to be the sweet spot for me. It's not too long, and it's definitely not too short. Moving along, we're going to go to this guy. You guys see me fishing with this guy quite a bit. This is an 8 foot Shore Pro. This is a JYG rod. This rod is super light. Now, once I started getting serious about pier fishing, I thought about the weight, because if you're going to be fishing off the pier, you're going to be doing a lot of casting. So pier fishing has changed over the years, where people are using more and more lures off the pier. Back when I was doing a lot of pier fishing, where I gained a lot of my skill and learned a lot, all the knowledge that I know about pier fishing, everybody was snobbling baits. What I mean, they were using dead sigs or live sigs if they could catch them, and they would just cast that bait out, let it soak, and they would keep it at the surface to where those king mackerel would come up and then just smoke that bait off of the surface. Nowadays, a lot of people are using Yo-Zuri lures, Rapala lures, and they're just casting, retrieving, casting, repeat, and they're just doing that all day long. And back in the day, if you were casting lures, you were not allowed on the end of the pier. And I kind of get aggressive when I say that, because that's just what the rules were. It was unwritten rules, but you could not be casting a lure off the end of the pier. But nowadays, I'm going for lightweight, because that's just what people are doing now. They're cast and repeat, and they're getting smoked. They're getting smoked on these lures. So lures have come a long way. Rod and reel setups have come a long way. The weight, man, I got an old 706 with a pier rod inside of that garage, and you could probably cast it 5-10 times before you wanted to take a break, because stuff was just that much heavier. Nowadays, the Shore Pro super light, paired up with this PC Fun 90X, and this is a 5,000 series reel. I caught a 38-pound king mackerel on this guy last year, and it's got 30-pound Power Pro Super Slick on it. Right now it's tied up with a Head-On Top Water Super Spook. Now this rod again is going to be a very it's going to be an all-around setup, right? I can use it offshore, I can use it inshore, I can use it from the pier, I can use it from the beach, I can use it for inshore speckled trout casting off of my little boat. This guy's just so light, it doesn't matter what I use it for. This PC Fun is super light, and this isn't even their lightweight series. They have a Carbon X PC Fun series that's even lighter than this PC Fun, and it's interesting because I'm calling this guy light, but they have a lighter series of reels that they offer. So that's my PC Fun 5000 90X and JYG Shore Pro. And I do like to mix stuff up, so 30-pound Power Pro, and then, you know, depending on what you're fishing with or what you're fishing for, you can go with different pound setups as far as leader go. So moving along, this is a custom rod and reel that was given to me by a sponsor. I guess we call her a sponsor. Lori Baird over at Real Wicked Rods gave me this rod. This is a custom deal, and the stitching on it is super nice. I can't say that enough. It's got super nice eyelets on it, and this rod is a little bit flimsy for live bait fishing. Right now I have it tied up with a Carolina rig because I was fishing some croakers over off the beach, and I was unsuccessful that day. I've been skunked a few times here in the past few weeks, but this is a super nice rod. I'm sure it's going to hold up well against some huge fish, but I just haven't been super successful since I got it. And plus I have my go-to, so I probably haven't given the rod the time of day that I need it to give it, but a super nice rod. It's probably going to be on the medium side of action, and then I have it paired up with, again, a 5,000 Penn Battle 2. So I like to be in that 5,000 range, not too big, not too small, and I can do a little bit of everything with it. Like I said, this is kind of a pier setup, but you can see I have it rigged up for inshore. I like to use my stuff for a little bit of everything, guys. I don't try and be a one-trick pony when it comes to setups. I know there's guys with like, oh, this is my inshore stuff, this is my surf stuff, this is my offshore stuff, this is this. No, I use everything for everything. Okay, we'll move on to this guy. You have seen me catch a 8-foot bull shark recently off of this guy. This is a 8-foot Thrasher rod. This is a custom rod that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I got it at a pretty good deal, and this is rigged up with a Quantum Benchmark. So this is a 5,000 series Quantum reel that I just kind of took a chance on. I'm not big on Quantum, but when it came to this reel, I kind of needed a reel for this rod, and so I picked this guy up. It was in the glass case over at Half Hitch Bait and Tackle. I gave it a few spins, and I said, hey, slap me some line on there, we'll go with it, let's see what it does. All right, so Quantum Benchmark 5,000 series reel. Y'all are starting to see a pattern, aren't you? So 8-foot rod, 5,000 series reel, 30-pound Power Pro Super Slick, and as you can see, look, again, you got a nice little paddle tail with a jig head on there and some 30-pound Yo-Zuri fluorocarbon. So you guys are starting to see a pattern, right? Right. So then we'll come here. This here is a 8-foot Shimano Terramar. I got a lot of scales on my stuff. I don't really take time to clean my stuff off because, of course, I just do a lot of fishing with my stuff. And you guys see I don't have any problems with my stuff. But This is a 8-foot Shimano Terramar. This is like a medium heavy. This guy doesn't have much flex in him, right? So this guy's got a lot of backbone. I've caught some huge amberjack with this guy. Not with this reel, of course. This reel is a little Shimano Stratic. This is a C5000 XG reel. Not going to hold a ton of line, but it's going to be great for inshore fishing. It's going to be great for pier fishing. This is a nice setup, super nice setup. It'll cast a cool mouth with a super light lure, and it's got some Power Pro on there as well. And then we'll move on down to our smaller stuff. This right here is a 7.5 foot Star Rod. This guy is this guy's going to be a medium action rod with a little Daiwa MQ. This is a MQ 4000 series reel with, I want to say, about 20-pound Power Pro. And this guy's great for throwing things like what you see here. That's a little Miradine. It's going to be great for grass flats, or if you're fishing on the pier, if you're going to be throwing gotchas and hex jigs and stuff like that. This guy's going to be great for that. Say some mahi come through real quick and you need something real light, something real quick that you can be real accurate with. This guy's the way to go. You can have Pompano jig rigged up on it and have it ready to go. I'm forgetting a couple rods, so I'm running out of stuff. Let me grab something. All right, here we go. This is another setup. This is a little bit bigger. So this is a 9-foot Ninja Dagger rod. This is a super long rod. Probably supposed to be used for surf fishing, but I use it for a little bit of everything. Again, this is a split rod, so you can break it in half, carry it inside the truck if you need to. And this one's hooked up with a 6500 pin spin fisher. All right, so a lot of line on this reel. I usually, whenever I go to the pier, I have a cobia jig or an NLBN tied up on this guy. So this one's going to have 30-pound Power Pro on it, and then you're going to have probably some 30-pound fluorocarbon tied to that cobia jig or that NLBN. So I hope this is giving you guys exactly what you're looking for as far as a tackle breakdown. I know a lot of you guys are like, what can I use to get started? I would always recommend either a 4000 or a 4500 or a 5000 series reel with at least a 7-foot rod or longer. 7 foot or longer. And as far as line goes, I wouldn't go no lighter than 20-25 pound. All right, and then make sure you know how to tie your leaders up. So let's get into some of the tackle that I have. Pardon me being in my socks. I'm just getting over being sick, which is why it's super easy to do this video right now. So I'm just going to bring this stuff out into the yard. So just for starters, here is some super cheap Andy monofilament. This is 40-pound clear. I will use this often, even in place of, say, that 30-pound fluorocarbon, because it's just super clear, and it's going to give those fish all the reason to bite. So I'll open this guy up. Boom, right off the bat. You gotta have you some nice pliers, guys. These are gonna save your life. Get you a good pair of pliers. These are Calcutta pliers. I had some nice pins, but they fell off the boat one day while I was fishing. I think I unhooked a fish and then I left them on the edge of the boat and then they fell in. You always want to keep a good pair of pliers, a pair that are not gonna rust. So that's super important. You want your pliers to work when you need them to work. Of course, a few swivels. I only use those whenever I am rigging up a Carolina rig. Other than that, I tie uni to uni. But size 8, pound test 50. So these are Tsunamis. These are the perfect little swivels for any situation, whether you're inshore, offshore, Fishing bottom, up top, it doesn't matter. Don't go with too big of swivels. So size 8, 50-pound test. Do not go any bigger than that because it's just unnecessary. Some of the size swivels I see people use sometimes, I'm like, man, what are they doing? When those fish can see the gear, they are not going to bite, guys. So those are small enough to where it's going to get you the bites that you need. Here's some more leader material. This stuff is kind of old. This is that Bill Fisher stuff. This is monofilament. 15-pound test. Super light stuff for inshore. I trust this stuff only to a degree. So I will use this 15 if I'm fishing for speckled trout, redfish sometimes. But again, I only trust it to a degree because even speckled trout have sharp teeth, especially those 2 front fangs that they have, and they will cut that 15 pretty easy. If they do, I'll lose a lure and then I'll switch to say like 20 or 30 or something. But I do use it in order to see if I'm going to get the bite first sometimes. And then we have our 30-pound Yo-Zuri. This is fluorocarbon. This is kind of my go-to stuff. If you haven't noticed, just about every setup over there has that stuff on it. It's just super good stuff, but it is expensive. Let's get into some of the lures and some of the terminal tackle. This is the little size 6 or 8 Rapala X-Rap. This is a glass ghost. This guy's kind of beat up. He's caught me some fish. Now, he's not going to be the heaviest lure to get out far, but it's going to get you out far enough to where you can get into the strike zone. If you pair that lure up with the right setup, let's say I'm casting it on this guy right here. This is a flimsy enough rod to get me the whip, and the line and the eyelets, that's all going to help that lure fly through the air and get out there far enough. This Shimano setup, this is only like 20-pound test. This rod is 8 foot, the length of your rod. All of that matters in order to get light lures out there super far to where you can get into the strike zone. Here's a Yo-Zuri 3D Prism. This lure right here, look at it, man. It looks like a little bait fish. And it's just top of the line. It's gonna swim right. It's gonna have that right action to get you out there and get you on the fish. This is something I got from the Gulf Breeze Bait and Tackle store the other day on their sale. I wouldn't worry about that guy. Look at here, brand new X-Rap, still in the package, never been used. That's just backup in case I lose that one. So we got this one on deck just in case. Here's some more fluorocarbon. This is 50 pound. All right, apparently my GoPro overheated. But I think we're on to this 50-pound fluorocarbon leader. This is what I use when big Spanish are in the area, big bluefish are in the area. Anything with big teeth that's not going to give me a huge run for my money, this is what I'm using. All right, and if I'm offshore fishing for like red snapper or something, this is what I'm using. 50 pound, not much heavier. But I will not use this for king mackerel. King mackerel, I'm using steel leader every time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You guys ask about, oh, what do I use for king mackerel? I'm gonna show you. So you open my tackle box up, I have these trays right here. So now, right in between these trays, I have Tsunami steel leader. This is single strand. You're going to hear that a lot. Single strand leader. This is 30 pound size. So what does it mean by single strand? I'll show you. Single strand, you may or may not be able to see that, but it's got one strand of wire. This is just straight up wire. Some people refer to it as piano wire. That's all it is. It's just straight steel leader. Hopefully I don't lose that. But I have that, and I have this. Toothproof. This is the same stuff, just a different brand in a different package. 30 pound. I make sure I have it, especially if I'm fishing for king mackerel. What's in my trays? I'll show you. Of course, I have my fishing license in that, but here's what's in my trays, guys. I have one dedicated terminal tackle tray. You got small trebles, you got circle hooks, you got old hooks that I've taken off and put back on. I got straight long shank hooks. These are long shank J hooks. Those are good for Spanish mackerel if you're fishing a live bait and they're finicky. We got plenty of J hooks, also good for Spanish mackerel. Right here are these Mustad hooks. These are small little silver hooks that you can use for Spanish mackerel if they're very finicky, and that silver is going to give you some reflection to where that hook shines, and it's not a dark hook like one of these cheap ones. These are like the all-around variety hooks where everybody uses them, and those fish can see that hook. Sometimes when they're tackle shy, they're not going to hit that hook. They won't hit it if they can see that. But I guarantee you, these are just tricks of the trade. If you take one of these little guys right here, look at how shiny. These fish are attracted to shiny. So you put on one of these, I guarantee you, you'll be getting hooked up and everybody will be wondering, what the hell is this guy using? I guarantee it. For inshore stuff, these are Fathom inshore bug-eye jig heads. These are great. This is what I used to catch that 25-inch redfish on the other day. These are super nice jig heads. Chartreuse head works every time. That's a 3/8. Super nice, guys, super nice. And I'll pair that guy up with a paddle tail or with a gulp shrimp, and it's gonna work every time. For king mackerel, these are some of the best hooks you can buy. For king mackerel, look here. This is a BKK hook. Some of the best hooks you're gonna buy. Super nice, again, super shiny. Not saying that the brown stuff doesn't work. This stuff works, but if you were a fish, which would you rather buy? The black one that stands out, or the shiny one that looks like it's part of the bait fish? I think you know the answer. I think you know the answer. I got a variety of different hooks here. You gotta have a variety of hooks. These are bigger hooks. I think I was using these for snook down in South Florida. Big snook and grouper. I got a ton of stuff in there. All right, we'll keep rolling. We'll come to this tray. So in this one, you're gonna find a lot of my Miradines, a lot of different color Miradines. So right there you have kind of a pink and speckled with some reflection in there. And then you have this guy, it's kind of a mullet look. On that one. And then you got this guy, he looks like an Elwha. This guy, he kind of looks like an Elwha, right? Or a greenback. Then you have this odd color. Not sure what made me buy him, but sometimes I like to try different things. So you got your Miradines, and then you got your Miralures. So this is a top water. This guy's great for redfish on the flat early in the morning. And then this guy, another Miralure. He's black top with the white bottom and the silver body. Looks like a finger mullet, right? Top water. And then you get back into like your pier fishing or your offshore fishing where you're throwing at schooling fish, feeding up top, maybe some blackfin tuna or something like that. This guy right here, king mackerel too. I got some bite marks right there at the back. Got bite marks up here. This guy's gonna be great. This is an X-Rap. So this is a Rapala X-Rap long cast. It's got the single hooks on it. Allows you to cast super far. All the weight's in the rear of this lure. So when you cast it, it flies in that direction and it soars through the air. This guy right here, this is a head-on lure, top water. Walking him across the top. Walk the dog with him. This is a Yo-Zuri This little guy's in bone color, great for speckled trout. Okay, we got another mirror lure. I don't want to bore you guys, but here, look, let's switch it up. Here's a gold spoon. I haven't used that much on the channel, but just know that I got it. We got a few Paul Browns. Those hooks are kind of rusty. Sometimes I put my stuff up without cleaning it. And then when I talk about, like, say Jack Crevalle or tarpon or other big species coming through the pier, you want to have one of these guys tied up. So somebody asked me about soft plastics at the pier. I don't really use soft plastics at the pier because all they're going to do is tear your tails off. The Spanish mackerel, the bluefish, the little nuisance fish, they're going to tear the tails off. And these lures are expensive, man. These lures are expensive. Here's a newer one. Here's a newer one. You see how nice and fresh it looks. This guy right here, these are going to be great for when Jack Crevalle come through, when tarpon come through. I think this is the choice, the color of choice here in our area. The chartreuse. If you go down to South Florida, everybody's using the purple. That's what they use down there. It varies from where you are regionally. So this is a hoagie. These guys are great for when jacks show up. They're great for tarpon from the pier. Got to have multiple colors, right? Because you never know what they want. And they're going to be keying in on different things at different times. This is an old cobia jig. So right now it's kind of balled up, but if I touch it in water, he'll sit straight. So you got that nice, you got the nice feather, you got some flake in there, and you got these streamers that dangle off the back of it, kind of like an eel. So those jigs are super nice, and they trick the fish into thinking that they're chasing after an eel or a squid or something. Here's kind of a newer one. I got this one last year, I think. I just only threw it a few times. Still got the knot tied on there from the last time I used it. It's an orange, but again, you got to have multiple different colors. We got a pink one, pink and yellow. We got an orange, and then we got this green. So you never know what they're going to be keying in on. You just got to hope you got it right the first time. And then also a bucktail. I've caught kings on these bucktails. I've caught kings on those bucktails. You never know what they're going to be wanting, guys. So let's slide some of this out of the way, and then let's get into some of these guys. And if I miss something, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to go over this stuff real quick. These are going to be some of our X-Wraps. So here's a nice color X-Wrap. This one was I want to say green with the chrome side and the white belly. Sometimes these X-Wraps, they'll crack, or if you get bit hard enough. I think I got bit, and then this one started taking on water. So I caught a king mackerel like within my first 2 or 3 casts of using that lure, and it started taking on water after I caught that king mackerel. But we got some poppers here. This is, I want to say this is a tsunami popper. So this guy's white with a chrome reflective side, got the red eyes and the red mouth. Super good popper for Jack Crevalle, bonita, blackfin tuna, you name it. I got a couple of these Yo-Zuris. These are Yo-Zuri poppers right here. I got a green one and I got a blue one. Great for tuna, great for kings, you name it. Angler Up with Brant gave me this guy. He got it in a mystery tackle box or something like that. Not sure who makes this, but I haven't really given it much time. We have another X-Wrap right here. So this one's in a yellow and a chartreuse bottom. He's a shallow diver. This is a 12. It's a long cast with the single hooks again. All right, let's get over here into this one. So this one's going to be more for, say, like my Spanish mackerel and whatnot. So already right off the bat, this is a hex jig. It got a little wet, or I put it away wet, so it got kind of rusty, but I guarantee you to still catch fish. This is a hex jig. You can find these at the counters of most bait and tackle stores in the South. It's got white streamers with some glitter in the tail, but this guy's just like a gotcha lure. You're gonna work it, he's gonna jig back and forth. It's gonna make those fish think they can't catch it, and when they feel like they can't catch it, they want to catch it. Here's another. This one's like a hex jig, or goofy jig, I think is what they call it, but it works the same way. I'm sorry. Here's a Yo-Zuri 3D Prism with the clear body, got the red head, white top, and he's a shallow diver. I've got swirled at by tarpon on these things. These are kind of new to me. These are Yo-Zuri mag speeds. Now this is the 100S, so these guys cast super far for their size, and they dive pretty deep from the pier. So he's gonna swim like this, and you can catch king mackerel, Spanish mackerel. I got a variety of Yo-Zuris. Guys, play around with it. These are these little glass 3D prisms. These guys are great for Spanish, small kings. Of course, you got more bucktails, and you got a few more little twitch baits in there. But play around with it, guys. Make sure that you have everything you need as far as leader material. Make sure you know how to tie really good knots. I don't tie swivels on if I'm using lures. I try to only use unit and uni knots, and if I am using lures, a lot of the time I will tie a perfect loop knot. I know you guys don't see me spend time showing you how I tie my knots, but just know that if I'm tying leader material on, I'm using a uni to uni knot, and I'm also using a perfect loop knot. Unless that bait just will not swim right with a perfect loop knot, then I'll just tie a straight uni knot to my lure. So keep those two things in mind and you should be good. But guys, I hope I covered just about everything with you. If I left anything out, drop it down in the comment. Let me know if this video was helpful to you guys, and maybe we'll do another tackle breakdown soon. And hey, we'll keep the videos coming your way. So I appreciate you guys. Be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and if you gained anything from this video, I really appreciate it. And let me know what you thought in the comments. So we'll see you in the next one. I'm Vitamin D for Vitamin D TV, and I'm out. Peace.